Speak. All right, everyone. So yeah, we're just getting set up. We'll be starting soon. All right, I see Jenny in the room. Hey, Eftat, thanks for joining. Every day. Set up. We'll be starting soon. In the room. Hey, Eftat, thanks for joining. Every day. Set up. Hey, Creatress, can you hear me on the space?
I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you. All right, so I'm good there. All right, and let's see if I can get Jenny. Oh, you know what it was? Okay, I figured it out. I had Jenny, I had you on the live stream right now without the mute, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" Okay, cool. So all right, I think you're co-host here now, and I got Creatress as a speaker. All right, can you guys hear me? Okay. Uh-oh. What's going on there? Wait, try again, Jenny.
Hello.
Oh wait. Let's
Hi.
see. Mic on your side. All right, Creatress. Wait, let's see if you're okay. See if you go off mute.
Hi.
All right.
Hi. Testing.
Okay, I think yours is okay. So Jenny, I think something on your end is picking up the echo. I don't know what's going on. Let me see.
I'm not sure.
Oh, you know what? Or what if you I do wondering wonder why it's doing that. Because I have you muted over here. Volume down. Very strange. Try again.
Hello.
Okay. That sounded fine. Yeah.
Hello.
Echo again. Dang, what's going on? What do we think? Do we just stick with the space? Yeah, Jenny, maybe let's just hop over to the space if we can't get it. I mean, I'll drop off of here and we just connect there. Okay.
I was just thinking maybe it'd be best if you guys stay on video and I
Oh
could
yeah.
just be here.
All right, that works too. Cool.
See if that works.
Yep. I think we're good now. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't hear any echo now.
Yeah.
So
No,
right.
I think we're good. We're good.
Okay. I could try on a different browser. I can't imagine that would. Nothing's changed from how I normally do it. So I mean, let me give it a go. Hold on one second. Let me try Edge real quick.
Sure. All right, cool. While you do that, maybe I'll so apologies for people for folks joining on. We're also trying to do the video live stream at the same time. It's been a while since we've done it, so just having a little bit of technical difficulties, but appreciate everybody that's joining in the room. I see Chaz, F. Everyday, Skip. Thank you guys for being here. Would greatly appreciate if you guys could like and repost the space, comment below, help us to get some more people in the room. We typically start these off with an introduction and just kind of giving a little bit of background on what the spaces are all about. We then do an introduction for our guests. Then we go into interview style questions. And at the end, we love to open it up for other people to join us on stage on the space. And just let us know how you're doing, ask questions, just kind of vibe with us as well. So this is a space, that I did start close to 2 years ago to shine a spotlight on talented artists who are part of the Web3 space. We like to do in-depth interviews to learn more about the artists behind the art. And in that process, we hope to bring greater awareness to artists, to foster new connections, and more importantly, to inspire people that have a creative passion to start a journey of their own in the Web3 space. It's a very inclusive space that welcomes artists of all nationalities, of all backgrounds, of all artistic styles, from seasoned professionals to emerging talents. We really try to bring a diverse range of voices from the Web3 community, and we like to celebrate how art and creativity bring us all together. So, with that said, I'm going to turn it over to my lovely co host, Jenny, to introduce our special guest for today.
Thank you. Creatress Sarai is an internationally collected and exhibited 3D performance artist who is known in our space for her unique digital sculptures. She is a true pioneer in this space with collections on multiple chains. As an Indigenous Latina woman, she is a symbol of inclusivity in our space. Giancarlo and I are honored to have her on the space today, especially given that this is Hispanic Heritage Month. Welcome, Creatress, to the Web3 Artist Spotlight.
Hello, thank you guys for having me. And yes, oh my gosh, what nice timing for Latin Heritage Month.
Right?
That is really, really sweet of you guys to wait to have me on today.
And sorry for the reschedule because I was not feeling well last week. So I appreciate the making the changes so we could have you here today. And I know it's a little bit of a different time, so we couldn't get some of our regular people who, the time zone didn't kind of work out, but still very excited to have you on here today. I'm going to try to bring Jenny back into live stream. Let's hope this time it works out. We don't get a crazy echo, but we'll see. Let's see.
Testing, testing.
Okay. All right. I think we might be good now. Okay.
Sounds good to me.
I figured it out. It needs
What was
to be
it?
muted. The volume has to be completely off.
Ah, okay. There we go. All right. Cool.
I
Cool.
may actually have to hop down and come back up because I can only hear Giancarlo off of the stream. I can't hear him in the space all of a sudden. So just give me 1 second.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you just fine, Jenny. Just not him. I don't know why.
Very strange. All right. Well, while we wait for her to join, all right, let's make sure we accept her again. Okay, you good now, Creatress? Let's see. Good. All right. Awesome.
All good. All good. We're all here now.
We're here. Yes. Okay. We got through the technical difficulties. Awesome. So anyhow, thank you so much for being our guest today. We've been very excited to have you on the space, and also because being Hispanic Heritage Month, we thought, okay, perfect guest to have on this in this particular month, right? So I wanted to really kick it off with us, maybe you taking us a little bit through some of the key milestones of your artistic evolution. So I know your early days into art started with you making mud pies at age 6, and then you did like sculpture and glass blowing in art school, and now you've moved on to doing digital mediums like VR. Maybe you could walk us through a little bit of some of like those key milestones of your artistic evolution and how all these things have kind of helped shape your creative identity.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we're going right into it. Well,
Yeah.
yes, that's really cool that you heard about the mud pies, because I think as silly as it sounds, it's like the early humans were using mud and clay to build the first works of art, like Venus of Willendorf, Venus of Urbino, that was made from clay. So just don't hate on the mud. You never know. The most well-known works of art started there. So yeah, went from there to ceramics. Ceramics in 6th grade. That was like the thing that I remember the most. And we got to use the potter's wheel. So for me, I was 11 years old, using a potter's wheel for the first time was really cool. And then that's when I also learned about using your art as a means of doing good in the world. So at the end of the school year, we all sold the bowls that we made in art class. And we sold the bowls and did a fundraiser called Bowls for Hunger, or something to that effect. And so you would buy a bowl, and then you could show up to this pizza and pasta night at this restaurant, at a local restaurant, and fill your bowl with food. And the proceeds went to help hunger, either in San Diego or somewhere nearby. But so that was really cool, using art as activism in a way. And that was in 6th grade. And then after that, like, say the next biggest kind of milestone for me was starting art school. I also did AP art in high school, and that got me to thinking maybe I would want to study art in university, and that's what I did. And every single year was like my brain was just exploding. It's like learning life drawing with like real models, and you have 5 minutes to draw the model, you have 30 seconds, and then you have an hour, and it's just that was wild to me. And then learning sculpture in school, and then learning glass blowing. That was another big part in my journey, right? Where it's like I now have used clay, I've used found objects. Now I'm learning how to do plates. Glass plates was the first thing, and then stained glass. I did stained glass also, and then I did beads on a flame, and then I did glass blowing, which is a full-on sculpture made out of glass. So there's definitely been a lot of progression over time. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I remember, going and I did a trip to Italy back in, I want to say it was like 2009. I remember going to Murano and seeing them doing like the glass blowing and how these people, and I mean, it looked so like technical and challenging, to do that stuff, and I was like, man, like that just must require like so much skill, but these guys were like masters, had been like passing it down and all that. And when I saw you had also done like not just the sculpture, but the glass blowing too, I was like, man, that is so freaking cool. So that's awesome. And then,
thank you.
And then you moved into like the digital realm as well, then doing stuff in VR. How did that start?
Yeah. That happened. First of all, I want to go to Murano. That's on my bucket list.
Yes.
I cannot wait to go there, and I want to do like glass blowing, like a lesson there with whoever I can, honestly. But how I got to virtual was I just saw a commercial, honestly, like a Meta Quest commercial, or it was an Oculus commercial at the time. It wasn't Meta yet. It was Oculus. And they just had a commercial, and it looked like someone was making art in there. And I was like, that looks really cool. I want to try it. I've always been into tech. But I think the thing that really pushed me to do it more was the restrictions when it comes to size and storage of art. Every single sculpture that I've made, I've had to store, or I've had to throw away, or repurpose, or gift, or whatever. And you start when you're prolific as an artist, your house becomes like a museum. I don't know if you could relate, but yeah, the storage thing became an issue, and I've moved a lot throughout my life, and it makes it difficult to move with a lot of paintings, because I can also paint. I have paintings, sketchbooks. So virtual sculpting, like that all saves in the cloud. So that was one of the main reasons that I kept going down that route, was because it's so practical to save your art, and your sculpture's not going to do great over time or get knocked over and broken. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great, it's a great, like, kind of point for like what's like the value, right, of having digital art, and even like what we're doing with Web3 and like blockchain, right? Is that because even as a collector, actually, you can see like in the wall, I've been hanging up some like physical artworks, but at a certain point in time, you like run out of like wall space, of places to put it. And like you said, if you're moving, it becomes cumbersome and difficult to like transport everything and make sure it doesn't get damaged. And I can only imagine that's even like magnified if you're doing like 3-dimensional artwork as well. Because one thing, like, okay, if it's like paintings and stuff, you can kind of like store them in folders. But then if you have like all these like glass pieces and ceramics, I can only imagine like how difficult it is. So it's really cool to be able to like put things into the virtual world, and then you could store, tons of it as well, right? So that's a really cool thing, and interesting that's what kind of also inspired you to get into the space. So Jenny, want to go to your next question?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm curious, because performance is a part of your artistic expression. Did this start as a result of 3D sculpting, or did you have experience in the performing arts?
Sorry for the delay. I actually can't hear Jenny. I just read.
Oh no!
I read it on the captions, but I did see the question. I see the question. So okay, this started. I did have performance experience too. So what I do now is a mix of 3D sculpting, using the VR headset, and performance. Right, it's a performance art now, and learning just dance as a little girl early on. you know, I went to school in Mexico, first of all, and then this happens in a lot of schools, even here in the US, but over there, there's a big focus on like dance and like presentations. Like the kids in elementary schools, you know, do presentations for their parents. And so I always kind of had that in me, the performance little, you know, thing that I really enjoyed those things. And then in 6th grade, when I went to the museum school, I learned Balinese dance and gamelan, which is Balinese orchestra with like the classic instruments. So then we had to perform. We had to do dance performances in 6th grade as part of our curriculum. And then my family is Mexican and they love to dance, and that is just the culture of our family. My first cousin has been a dancer her whole life. I've always looked up to her. She did about 10 different songs for quinceañera, like choreographed things. I even did a choreographed dance for my quinceañera, a couple, including with like flips, like I was like upside down. So I've always kind of had this in the back of my, like, you know, like I've always wanted to be a performer. I just never really found the thing that I'm like, I don't know if I want to be just a dancer that sings a little bit, you know, but this kind of performance that I do now blends all the things that so it's my music, I curate the music, it's dance, it's 3D sculpture, and it's the mixed reality, you know, going back and forth with the audience and then being within my own space when I switch to virtual. It's really got like all the elements of things that I like. So but for Jenny, and let's do the switch back and forth just in case I can hear her.
Testing.
Could you hear her or no? Maybe you might. Let's see. Can you hear Jenny? Oh, did you hear Jenny or no? No. Maybe. Oh, I wonder we should drop. You want to drop and come back in? Maybe. No. Or you can read the. Okay. All right. She's dropping, coming back.
Okay, testing.
Hello.
All right.
Yay! I hear Jenny. I hear both of you guys. Okay.
All right. Awesome. We're back. Okay. All right. Go, Jenny.
Oh no,
okay.
I think that's great. She answered the question about how the performance art came. I think that's awesome, and I so can relate because I remember in the Dominican Republic we had like folkloric dances that we were supposed to put on and stuff like that. So that's dope that has its roots there for you.
Yeah, I can relate too. Like, because I did school like when I was younger in elementary, middle school in Colombia, and they made us. We'd have to do like cumbia dances and merengue. Like it was like a part. Like you had to take like dance, and you had to like learn also how to play like the instruments, and so you'd like to have to grab maracas and stuff like that. So yeah, so I can like definitely relate to like having that, and then like dancing has always been like a big part of my family too. And funny enough too, like I actually choreographed a salsa dance for my wedding with my wife, you know. So we did like a thing where we started out like just like a regular kind of dance, and then I had the DJ like kind of like scratch the song, and then it just went into Calipa Changuero, and I had like it's like a salsa song, and then I had a like an edited version of it to like not so it wouldn't be so long, so that we have it like perfectly timed for the dance. So yeah. So I love that part about your performance, you know, that you do that kind of stuff. That's so cool.
I'm impressed. Okay, so we've all done a choreographed dance. I love this. Yeah. I know you guys would relate.
Exactly. That's so dope. So so you talked obviously about the live performances. I love that it mixes a lot of this stuff that you like the music and the dancing and all that. So I'd love if you could maybe walk us through like what's your process like for planning out one of your live performances, like from like the music selection, stage setup, you know, conceptualizing maybe the artwork you're going to make. Like how do you go about putting it all together, and how much of it is like preparation versus just being like spontaneous and like whatever comes out on stage?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay, so technically for a performance, I usually the first place I start is how long can it be? Right? How long do I have on stage? And then based on that, I build a playlist exactly that length, or maybe like a minute less. Um, I start with a low kind of like the indigenous sounds, like instruments and music like that. I've got a few that I kind of go back to, and so I start with that, and then I start kind of ramping up the BPMs.
Mm.
It's kind of like starting with a warm up and like first grounding, and then warming up, and then there's like usually a song or two.
Oh, wait, is it just me or did I lose her signal?
I lost her. I lost her.
Oh no, we lost you, Creatress.
Hello?
Okay, I hear you now. Yeah, and we lost your signal for a little bit.
Oh, that's so odd. So odd. Okay. Okay. Where was I? So first, and then once I listen to the playlist, I kind of see what comes up, and I think about the colors I'm going to use. That's about as far as I go conceptually, or like that's as far as I go. What happens in the performance is I am well, before I go into that, stage wise, usually I don't have a whole lot of say. I have to say that
Hmm.
when it comes to events, it's kind of like, well, what kind of stage do you guys have, and I kind of just adjust to that. Um, have never really been able to do much with a set with the stage setup, to be honest. I would love to. That's my goal, is to one day have a tour where I get to build
Mhm.
out the backdrop, and you know what I'm saying. We're not there yet, but we're on our way. So
Aspiration.
besides
Yeah.
that, really, once I get into the actual performance, it's about who's there, and it's about the energy of
Mhm.
everybody in the room. And what I'm trying to do is be almost like an interpreter of that energy, and interpret what I'm feeling, what I'm hearing around me,
Mm.
and turning that into color or texture or repeating pattern. That's what I'm trying to do. And not just the energy of the people, but also the energy in the music that's playing. So a lot of times you can kind of see, like, I'll clue into like a drum beat or something like that, and I'll try to illustrate that. So.
So cool.
Yeah, it's completely abstract most of the time. Sometimes there will be a representational object, but it's not very common. I think the most recognizable shapes you might see are people's names, because I do
Mm.
include people's names. Like whoever I feel the strongest in the room, um, their name will show up. Whoever supported me and was just like, I don't know, being emotional support or any kind of support, like
Mhm.
on that day, or like it just has been on my mind, whose ever energy I'm like carrying or feel, they go in there. And usually their name is written in the color that I believe their energy is feeling like too.
Wow, that's so cool. I love it. Now I feel like I'm gonna go back to some of your pieces and be like, do I see a name there? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
now that I'm thinking about it, I remember the piece that you submitted for the Oculus for the World Trade Center when we did the exhibition, and that it was pink and super vibrant, and I'm pretty sure it said love in it. So I could see like how that makes its way into your art. So for the performance, I understand how you sort of approach it, but I'm curious, like when it's not performance and it's just you like making the 3D sculpture, would you say that you do it more like intuitively, or is there like a concept, or maybe a little bit of both?
Oh, great question. Yeah, it's totally different when I'm by myself. When I'm by myself, it's not usually intuitive unless I'm practicing for a performance. When I'm practicing for a performance, I'm just going, right? And it's just me in my studio, and it's more like tuning into the song. But if I'm not practicing for a performance, I usually have like reference images that I bring into VR, and I can see them there in my studio, and things are very specific. And I'm like, okay, today I'm gonna build, a motorcycle, or I'm gonna build this abstract landscape, or things like that. That's usually not that intuitive. There's always a little bit of randomness, I guess, to it, but I usually come with a concept, and sometimes I'll go into AI and make a 2D image and bring that 2D image into the studio and build something 3D from there. So totally different process. Yeah.
Very interesting. So it's kind of cool, yeah, to see that. Yeah, like it's a very totally different kind of process, and one is really like taking in the energy of the people and like the vibe, right? Versus then you just kind of like sitting down creating by yourself. So I listened to this interview that you did on BTC Nashville, and in there was something interesting that you mentioned that like your 11/11 performance that was commissioned by Paris Hilton was like one of your most memorable, and you also transformed apparently a still image of it into an ordinal NFT through Gamma, which I thought was really cool because obviously you have the size limitations there, and you can't put your big GLB files on the Bitcoin blockchain. But I'd love if you could share a little bit more about the experience at that event, right? And what maybe made that event so special for you.
Oh yeah. I mean, the experience. First of all, I've been like the ultimate influencer, the ultimate it girl, right? So I've always grown up kind of watching her, being a little bit younger, and to me, I was like a fangirling from the beginning. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's not just cool. She's also passed like over 10 different laws
Mhm.
to help keep kids safe. So I I was just like, I can't believe this is even happening, to be honest. And all the people that were there at this, it was an innovation summit, which I think like innovation and summit, that's my jam right there. The almost every single speaker on her panels was a woman. There's only one single man on the whole programming, which I thought was really special too, because it's like an innovation summit and the majority of the speakers are women. Like I think there's something really special there, right? We're talking about innovation, we're talking about crypto, technology, fashion, like all these really important things. So for me, just being part of it and like being the kickoff to this, I was literally the first person on stage before Paris Hilton and Randy Zuckerberg did a fireside chat, like immediately after my performance. So just even the scheduling of it, I'm like,
Wow.
oh my God. Yeah, the stage was beautiful. It was like the biggest stage I've been on, like physically. It was the biggest screen I've performed on. And then the production team was the most professional. They, I was there a few hours early. They made sure everything was good. We did a full on run through on stage, like a tech sound check. And I don't always get to do that at events, but that was just like the most well produced, most professional event I'd ever been part of, honestly. And then my sister was there as my photographer, videographer. So it was super special to also share that with my sister. Yeah, it was really, really great energy. Like majority women in the space, and it's just like everybody who was there was handpicked and was amazing at whatever industry or in, whatever they do. They were just awesome. So that's why it was, I think, the most memorable one so far.
Yeah, that's so cool. And it's interesting because yeah, like Paris Hilton is one of those people that I mean, honestly, like before I just had like kind of the how do I say, like the impression of her that like what people kind of would get from the media or whatever. But then when I started like learning more about her, and especially as she entered like the Web3 space, I was like blown away. Like woman is like brilliant. Like she really like gets and understands the space and has done like so much stuff. So she's yeah, I was like one of those that like completely surprised me, and like it took me like caught me off guard, but yeah, and then I found here the piece that you made during that event, which I thought was like really cool, kind of like a butterfly type thing. And I think I remember hearing you talk about also like 11/11, that you also were maybe into like numerology and stuff like that. So there was also some special like significance also behind the date and the numbers and all that with the event as well. Is that correct?
Yes. So, oh shoot.
Oh,
Sorry. Okay, sorry.
all good.
Yeah, so 11/11, definitely, I'm definitely into numerology. 11/11, I believe it means a lot of things, but one of them is just like new beginnings, like the start of new cycles, things like that. And the reason it was called 11/11 energy was because the event happened on 11/11/22,
Mhm.
which was also the date of her first anniversary. So it was like her first anniversary, like event. It was pretty yeah, it was really, really cool. So I thought it would only be appropriate to call the piece 1111 energy, because this is the energy from that day,
Yeah.
from that event. And yeah, her name is actually written in the body of the butterfly. You can't really tell because it's meant to be abstract, but it's there. And I have a video where I'm writing out the name and placing it there. And yeah, for this one in particular, I used colors that I knew that she had in her branding for the event. The butterfly is just like my symbol that I love to kind of go back to, and then the crown, it just seemed appropriate when I was like in the middle of it, just kind of came to me. So yeah, thank you for asking.
Very cool. And I gotta say, I do love that they're all like GLBs, you know, so you could actually like move around the 3D image and like zoom in and look at stuff. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, I love that there's little bubbles too,
Mhm.
and like there's nuances and details that are just great. So you had mentioned that you did glass work, that you did pottery. Obviously, you're known for the 3D sculpting, but I'm curious, would you say that that's your favorite medium of all of the mediums that you have worked with as an artist? And then maybe as a follow-up question, I'd be curious if there's a medium that you have not tried that you'd really be interested in.
Oh, that's a great question. Okay, 3D sculpting, is that my favorite medium? No, I don't think. I think 3D sculpting performance,
Mm.
yes. But if there's another medium I would prefer, it would be glass blowing. Here's the thing though, there's some logistical and ethical concerns with glass blowing that there isn't with VR. So it's like kind of conflicting, to be
Mm.
honest. So glass blowing is super expensive. Okay, if you want to go make something, it's usually about $100 per hour to go into a studio and just either take a lesson or just do it yourself. So that part, it's highly inaccessible. The other part is it uses a lot of resources. That's why it costs so much to do it. There's like a furnace, there's glass that has to be melted, there's you know an annealer, which is kind of like an oven that makes it cool, the glass cool down. You need to have your glass sculptures cool down for about 24 hours. So imagine you have to run an oven that very slowly comes down to temperature for about a. So as you can imagine, there's tons of resources that go into it. And me being a hippie, planet loving environmentalist, we're dealing with weather right now,
Mhm.
literally, because of all the emissions and all the things, all the energy that we're using that we don't necessarily have to. So that's actually one of the reasons why I also, in addition to the cost, why I kind of pulled away from glass blowing a bit, but honestly is the most fun art form that exists. It's, to me, it's an art sport. Okay, it's not even that much technical skill in my opinion. It's like having like a healthy body, having enough stamina, like being healthy enough to just to be in a hot room for hours, to hold up a pipe, to be really close to like heat. It's a sport, and there's nothing like it except VR performance art, because I am dancing, so I do get sweaty there too. But it's just, oh man, glass blowing feels like you're doing a like you're an ironsmith or something. Like you are one of those like early crafts people of like humanity. I don't know. There's something about it that I really, really enjoy. But yeah, very close second is what I do now.
So cool. So cool. I haven't done it. I have considered doing it. There's something here in St. Pete connected to the Chihuly Museum or Gallery,
Mm.
something like where you might get like a class. So maybe one day, but I love that. And then just out of curiosity, if outside of glass blowing, is there a medium that you have not tried that maybe you'd be interested in giving a shot?
Ooh, I'm trying to think. There are definitely art forms. I'm just trying to think right now what it which one I haven't tried. I can't even think. I can't even think of one right now. But what I would like, oh, I know, this is one that I've been wanting to do. DJing. So like
Mm.
making visuals for festivals, or like the visuals that are happening behind DJs, like that. That I want to try that. Yes, and DJing too, but DJing isn't. I don't think of that so much as like a art. I mean, it is an art. Music is art too, but I'm thinking visual art more so. So yeah, DJing. I want to do that. I haven't tried that.
Super cool.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, man, could we find a place in Miami to go do some glass blowing over there for the residency? That would be kind of a cool
Why don't we
idea.
look into it? We should look into it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes, there are places in Miami to do that. I know there are because I have considered it every time I go to Miami for art balls. I'm like, why isn't there a glass blowing like event? Like,
Right?
yeah. So maybe this might be the time that you try it, Jenny. I don't know.
Yeah,
Might be your time. Might be coming up.
I think so. I think we got to make that happen. So, along those lines of those questions, one thing I was curious about. So I know you use tools like MetaQuest Pro, Gravity Sketch right now to make your VR art. And I was kind of curious about like how the experience of creating art in VR differs from your like traditional mediums like the ceramics, the glass blowing, in terms of like the creative process, the emotional engagement behind it. Like how different is it for you, like doing one versus the other in those aspects?
Well, oh, sorry.
All good.
I think it's all different. I mean, for me, with the performance stuff, it's all about engagement. It's all about connecting
Mhm,
with the audience. Every other art form that I've practiced is pretty much like a solo
mhm,
experience, which I'm sure you guys can relate to because you guys are
mhm,
also artists. It's like a very, I can make art with other people around, but yeah, I think that's kind of the big difference for me. It's just like anything besides the performance is more of a solo art practice to me, and that's totally fine. But I'm definitely a social being, so
mhm,
I really think will keep performing, and I'll keep wanting to build that. Like there's a very real energy that you feel when you're on stage and like people are looking at you on any level, even if they're not even looking at you. Like there
mhm,
is an energy there, and it's just like it is the most interesting thing that I have experienced, and I want to keep exploring that because I have been behind stage at festivals before, and you can like feel the energy like a freaking wave,
mhm.
and that's also something that I have on my to-do list is to do a performance in collaboration with an artist that's doing a big festival, like Ultra Music Festival in Miami, for example, or anything with that amount of energy in a
Mhm.
crowd. I think would be really, really interesting to describe in 3D form. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
sorry, I don't know if I answered the
no,
question
yeah,
very
you
well.
did. I think, yeah, and I think that's it's really, really interesting because it was getting me thinking about something too that like I've typically always like created art by myself, right? It's always been a very like um like a meditative kind of practice, something where like I'm just kind of like sitting with my thoughts, my feelings, processing it. But funny enough, like last year when we got together for Art Basel, we had like all these artists staying together in houses. And I see, like, I know Anna was in the room there as well, because she was part of it too. But there was just something about like sitting outside with like a bunch of other creatives and everybody making art together at the same time. Like there was this kind of like palpable energy, like, and it was really cool to like be creating something and then like turning over and seeing what somebody else was making and then like getting kind of inspired and feeding off of that energy and then like bringing it into something that you're doing. And I just thought that was such a cool thing. And obviously it's a bit different than like being on a on a stage with like maybe hundreds of people there in attendance. But there is something to be said, I think, about like, yeah, like creating while you have this other like energy and people with you there that I thought it was like the coolest thing. So I was like, oh, I got to do more of this. Like it was yeah, it just felt so good. It was like such a different kind of experience, and it was really cool to feed off of that.
Well, I'm super excited to be part of the residency this time
Hmm.
around because I'm like just hearing you talk about it. I'm like I got
Yeah.
FOMO
Yeah.
because I've been in that sort of situation where you're just like jamming. It's like I'm sure it's like musicians, when
Hmm.
musicians like finally like are jamming is what they call it. I'm like it feels. I think it's like that. I was only in orchestra for a little bit, but when it worked, it felt really cool. Like, oh, we're all playing our instruments and we're making something cool. Yeah, I love that.
So
I'm really
dope.
excited. By the way, guys, thank you for including me in the residency. I'm like super excited for both
I'm
of us.
so
I didn't go
excited.
last year. I know there was a reason because this year's going to be like so much cooler. So yeah, thank you.
For sure.
Oh man, it's gonna be awesome. And I was just, as you were saying that, guys, like I was just thinking about how everybody tends to listen to music while they're creating, and how like the music part of like the process is also really cool to experience as in a group setting. Because it's like, oh yeah, I like that song. Put that up. It's dope. It's good vibes. I did have a question about physical and then sort of like the metaverse. So, have you ever turned one of your 3D sculptures that you create in the metaverse into an actual physical sculpture? Like use it as a blueprint?
Great question. Not yet. I haven't made anything. I haven't 3D printed anything yet. What I have done is I've made clothing with the 3D designs on it. So obviously not like it doesn't look 3D, but it's like a 2D image of a 3D sculpture. So for example, like some butterflies. I've got butterflies on my backpack. Actually, I have one right here. I'll show you. Kind of close enough. So I've put it on a fanny pack. This is one of my early sculptures. It's hard to tell, but it's like a very abstract butterfly. Literally one of the first NFTs I ever minted. So that's on a fanny pack. I've also got like a backpack. I've got dresses that I put on, that I put the butterflies on. I have a dress that I performed in. So I built the 3D sculpture. I made a dress of it, and then I got booked to perform. So I wore the dress while I was on stage building a different 3D sculpture. so nerdy, so meta. But yeah, no, I haven't built an actual 3D. I haven't printed a 3D sculpture yet. So far, it's all just been wearable stuff because I love to wear my own designs. That's one of the things that I've also gotten into before even VR. I was creating designs that I would wear because why not?
Yeah, heck yeah, you should wear the art. Yeah, it's like the best advertisement in a way. Because people are going to be like, well, where'd you get that from? And it's like, no, I made it. This is mine. This
This
is
is
my
my art.
design. Yeah,
So
super duper cool.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say because I was remembering because I was thinking about like your outfits and stuff, and I remember always seeing you like wearing like hats and these kind of like kimonos and other things like that. I'm like, did she make this? Because I'm like, they all looked like very unique, like some of the styles and stuff like that. So I was curious if those were also like original designs.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, not everything I wear, of course, and the hats. I can't take credit for the hats. Although I have considered kind of blinging out a hat. I haven't done it yet. But I will say, like the robe that I've worn a lot recently, like that one. Me and my co-host for our show, There's Layers to This, which also just happened earlier a couple hours ago. We designed those. We designed a few different things for our show. So we're really into it. We're pretty much anything I wear from these days, it's gonna be something I created because it's just the most fun, and I love it. So if you guys ever need any designs, let me know. I got you. I'll help you out. If you want a custom silk robe with your name on it, like a total G. I think Jenny wants one. Yes, Jenny from the block. She needs one for sure. So,
Let's go.
yeah. I love that stuff.
That is so cool. So I was gonna ask for you to maybe do like a little tour of your spatial sculpture gallery, but I'm having trouble connecting to the to the site right now. So I'll jump to like the next question that I had until I hopefully can get it loaded and we can do a little tour here for the live stream. But one of the things I was going to ask you was, maybe for somebody that might be beginning their journey into creating art in VR, maybe is curious about creating art in VR. What advice would you give them in terms of tools, mindsets, overcoming any initial challenges with it, and maybe what do you wish you had known when you first started in that medium?
Yeah, for anyone who wants to get.
Oh no, wait, I think I lost you for a second. Hold on. Oh, there we go.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I think you
Can
were
you
on
hear me
mute
now?
over there. Yeah. I was like, what happened?
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I would say if you're just getting started, probably if you have the budget, get a MetaQuest 3. That one
Mhm.
it's like not the newest one, but it's like the second newest one from Meta. I believe it's about $400. I think that's about the best bang for your buck if you want to buy a headset. You could go cheaper if you get the MetaQuest 2. It's just not as it's like the first one, so just know. But it will work. And after that, I would say just make sure you have some room in your house, like
Hmm.
a room with not a lot of things on the ground, so you have space to move, because that's pretty important. You don't want to be hitting the wall with your hand when you get too excited and get really into it. So have a little bit of room. And let's see what else. The MetaQuest has an app store, so you can buy all sorts of apps depending on what you're interested in, whether that's gaming or whether that's sculpting. So sculpting apps, I would say the one is Gravity Sketch. That's
Hmm.
the one, y'all. That's the one
That's
I
it.
use. There are others,
The
but
grill. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's Vermilion for painting, and then
Oh, is
there's
that what you use,
King
Jenny?
Spray
Yeah.
Graffiti that I like for spray painting. So if you want to try those types of things, those are the apps I would say. If you want to get a workout, get Beat Saber. Love it. Can't go wrong. So,
What
yeah,
explain
those are
that
my
one? So like how
suggestions.
do
Beat Saber is so
yeah.
fun, especially if you like Star Wars at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have like two lightsabers, one in each hand, and then there's music, and you gotta slash the cubes that are coming at you to the beat. So if you're into music, if you're into moving around, maybe a little bit of dancing, it's not really dancing, but you could throw a little groove into it if you want. So those are my suggestions on VR.
Love it. No, all good tips there. I'm gonna took some notes, so I'll be checking that out. Jenny, you want to go to the next one?
Yeah, sorry, I kind of got like lost there visualizing
Thinking about
myself.
with the sabers.
Yeah, that does sound so fun. Okay, so I have this like sort of like conceptual thought that I've been thinking about, and I wanted to see what you thought about it as well. If you could predict the future, do you see a blurring of the lines happening where 3D VR experiences merge like way more seamlessly with IRL? Like, what do you think um, the VR experience will be like in some future?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I think there is definitely a place for that. If I could predict the future, here's me predicting what I would want to happen. Um, like I think there would be a place, like instead of the movie theater, or maybe they just repurpose some of the movie theater rooms. Okay, so like in theater 1 and 2, it's like the VR immersive theater. So you go in there and there's maybe not as many seats, but every seat gets a VR headset. Just say, right? And maybe there's a big screen like usual in a movie theater, but then everybody has VR headsets. So you can actually be fully immersed if you want to. And if it gets too much for you, you can just take it off, set it right next to you, and just watch like the movie itself. I think that might be kind of cool. There's that. There's also, I think what would be cool is if there were rooms, maybe like those immersive rooms with all four walls have LEDs. Okay, so now we're not talking necessarily VR, but imagine if you were in one of those rooms and that's where you watched a movie or that's where you had an experience. And what if the chairs were like spinning chairs? And so you could like look at any side of any part, any one of the four walls. Like, oh my God, I don't know. I could go
Heck
on and
yeah.
on, but like I think
I love
that's
it.
where I would start.
No, heck yeah, that's awesome. I love that so much. I would want that too. I would definitely pay for that.
What about if there was like it was also massage chairs and there was aromatherapy? Like, I mean, there's just
Yes.
it could go hard. And
Right?
oh my God, what if you could wear a massage? What if you could wear a headset or like some kind like what if headsets were really thin at some point, right? What if it was an eye mask almost that you could wear while you're getting a massage and then you could like be really like on a beach in Hawaii or like just having a crazy like journey through space while you're getting a massage. Like that sounds really fun. I'm like, it just came to me. I
Heck
want it.
yeah. No, I love that. I would want that. And also, like you just mentioned the smell. So it would be
Smell.
like visual, tactile, and then on top of it, like a smell component. Like it would literally hit like all the senses. That would be so dope. I love it.
Sounds like a new business venture. Right?
Right? Giancarlo's like, let me
Yeah.
write this down.
Like, I think we can make this happen. Okay.
Right? Oh man. So I did have another question, which is you mentioned at some point in the beginning about like working with another artist. I'd be curious, like, what are some artists you would love to collaborate with?
Well, a lot of artists in the space, visual artists mainly. Oh my gosh, I hesitate to say anyone in particular. I know Anna. Actually, I was listening to her interview and she talked about her experience with Sabe, and I thought that was really cool. So I'm like, I think he's on him many times, and he's just like the sweetest.
Oh no, I lost it. Is it just me? No, we lost you there for a second, Creatress. Okay.
Hello, hello.
Yes. Okay. We hear
Testing.
you. Yes, we hear you. You're back. You're talking about Sabit.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what it is. I didn't do anything. I didn't click anything. But I would say Ali Sabet,
Mhm.
okay, because he's amazing. Every interaction I've ever had with him has been really pleasant, and just yeah, nothing but great, amazing art that I've seen come from him too. I would say him. I would say I think it'd be really cool to collab with Drew Shoes. He does the photography from like really high up buildings. I'm scared of heights, so I don't know how that would ever work. But it would be cool. And Clear Silver, I think that's what when I got cut off. Clear Silver, I think would be incredible to collaborate with. Yeah, and I could go on, but I also want to talk about musicians because musicians are kind of the people that I have my sights on with in the space. Eunice and Tyspectives, they performed with me in New York, and we did like a 3 woman show. It was them with the music and me doing the VR, and that was so fun. Like I thought it felt like I was in the Spice Girls. I felt like I was in Destiny's Child. Destiny's Child is really what the more appropriate because there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
So it was the coolest thing I'd ever experienced. Like we were all on stage, everybody's doing their thing, and oh my god! So I want to do more of that. I would like to collaborate with Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor
Mhm.
Swift, Beyonce, Shakira, and Becky G. Those are at the top of my list. Dolly Parton would be nice too. Um, yeah, I just like everyone that has a song that really like gets me going. I want to perform with them. Also, Stick Figure. I know I was talking all about female performers there, but also Stick Figure, which is a reggae band. Gypsy Kings, Andrea
Mhm.
Bocelli. I'm
Mhm.
down for all of it. I want it all, guys. I want because listen, every single song, every single
Mhm.
musician
Mhm.
has a different energy. So I'm gonna create something entirely different and feel entirely different on stage with them. So I think it's worth exploring like all the best music there is.
Yeah, someone that's got a very eclectic taste in music. As you were like, going off the names, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, oh, ooh, yeah, just thinking about like how where you could take it, because of the different, like such different styles. But yeah, no, that sounds awesome, and I could definitely see like why you'd be so excited to want to partner and collaborate with like musicians, and because you could feed off of like the performance, the music, the vibe, with the audience and things like that. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I think it'd be so cool. So if anyone's listening, book Creatress for your next performance. All right, so where I wanted to go next was in a post I saw from May, and I'll pin it up here and on the other side as well. But you had shared that that you became a mom at the young age of 20, right? And that growing up alongside your son Atlas has been both, very challenging and also like the greatest joy of your life. And I was curious, like how has motherhood maybe influenced your art, your creative journey, and in what ways maybe has Atlas inspired or shaped, how you create the work you do today?
Oh wow, what a great question. Yeah, it has been such a cool journey. Literally feel like we've grown up together. When you're 20 years old, you feel like, I don't know, you're not like
You're not
fully
an
an
adult,
adult.
really, yet.
I didn't feel like one anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, how has it shaped? I mean, it changed everything. I was in art school when I had him, so I actually took a break in between school. I withdrew that semester, which was wild to me. I was like, oh no, will I ever come back? And of course I did. And, everything worked out for the best. But yeah, no, that shaped everything. So I also moved after I dropped out for a little bit. I moved to San Bernardino, and that's where I went and learned glass blowing. Like while I was recovering from having him, and like when he was really, really small, there was a community college that was there in that city, and they had glass blowing. So I was like, you know what? Well, I'm not by San Diego State right now, but I can take a couple classes just to stay in the game, And that's when I learned glass design, and then glass blowing, which is, like I said, my favorite art form. So, indirectly, he took me in that direction and put me in the way of that. Um, More so than that, I mean, I've always tried to teach him about art. We went to the Children's Museum a million times. He would play with like clay. They had little clay stations there, and they would always have some kind of art project. So it started as like a very me thing, and then it became, let me show my kid how to, play with paints and paint his own.
I think I lost you for a second there. I lost your signal.
It's definitely shaped
Okay, there you
me and my outlook on everything. To be honest, I couldn't even pinpoint any one thing. But yeah, he's always inspired my art. Back in the Okay, I'll tell you one thing I just remembered. When he was in the womb, I started painting with watercolors on like the size of the fetus, right? So if you've ever been a mom, you might know that there's these like little updates you can sign up for, and every week they tell you, oh, your baby's
Yeah, the size of, yeah. Oh no, wait, we lost you.
pregnancy of the like a little fetus, and then like the corresponding fruit that it's like the same size of. So like before he was even born, I was making art thinking of him, and that has only continued, but it's not so literal anymore, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, and that's very sweet. And I was curious, because I noticed he also has like a Twitter account, but I know he doesn't like posting pictures and all that. And I saw some games and things mentioned on his profile, and I was kind of curious, like what kind of stuff do you guys enjoy doing together? Like, what are some of the things that just for bonding when you're spending time and not having to do work or anything? Like, what are kind of things you do for fun?
Oh, things for fun. We like watching movies together a lot. He's really into Marvel, so always that, really into sci-fi stuff, really into Terminator, really doomsday. Back when we were in Maui, we were doing a lot of beach boogie boarding, just going to the beach, enjoying the time outside. What else do we do? Bike riding. He's really into riding bikes and just playing outside, to be honest. So outside of that, he's really into gaming. So that is also one of the things he does. And actually in 2021, I think, or maybe 2022, he actually made some art that was minted on chain. So he's got some NFTs. He came up with his own name, which is Unknown Pedestrian, because he wants to be a non. That's also one thing that's been really interesting as a mom who loves photography too. I took so many photos of him that there was a point where he's like, Mom, no more photos. So for
Like,
the past
stop.
maybe 6 years or so, I get very limited photo photo access. And yeah, it's been really interesting because a lot of the things we do, I don't take photos of them. It's all very private, like for us, which has been really nice because I know as parents, we usually want to share everything, but him almost asking me not to does help me be more present, I think, in some ways, which is something I would have never thought of, honestly, because I love to capture every moment. But that's been something he's taught me indirectly, I think, without even knowing. So, yeah.
Oh, I love that. And yeah, it's always interesting how like we can, like learn things, so much stuff from our kids as well, so that's very sweet to hear things you do share together and then what he was, by saying like don't take the pictures, you got to be more present and in the moment. So very sweet.
Yeah, and it like also I feel like it confirms this like natural thing that happens in parenthood where like they're their own person in a way, like I also had that experience where Alex asked me like, you don't even ask me if you're going to post the pictures. And I was like, oh, I guess I never thought that I'm supposed to ask you because I'm assuming that you're just like mine, but actually like, you're your own human. So that's so cool that you said that because I'm kind of living that a little bit too. He does give me permission, but I have to at least ask, I feel is the thing. So I'm curious, like, what does your son like to play? Because he's a gamer, mine is too. What is he like?
Oh, he's really into Fortnite. He's pretty exclusive into Fortnite, to be honest.
Yeah, Fortnite's cool. Mine's not quite there yet. He's into like Roblox right now, but kind of like similar vibes with the designing and the skins and stuff like that. Yeah. I did have a question.
Roblox. I think he tried Roblox. He was started on Minecraft. Minecraft was his first thing, and he was really into building. We actually even built in crypto voxels, and it's very similar to how you build in Minecraft. So we actually had like a kids exhibition, like a kids NFT exhibition in crypto voxels, and leading up to it, we kind of helped design the gallery. So he got to try that out. That was like years ago now. I forgot, but oh my gosh, these kids, they're so lucky. There's so many cool games and so much cool tech out for them right now. It's
That
insane.
is awesome. Yeah. See, mine, I my kids, so my I have an 8-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son. My daughter didn't really get too much into video games, but she does love like art and singing and, other stuff. But my son got into video games, but I got him into like more of the old school stuff that like I grew up with, so like Mario Kart, Mario, like the like Nintendo type games. So like that's what he got like really into, and like he just like loves playing it and got like really good at it. But I haven't gotten him into other stuff like Minecraft or Roblox or things like that. But that's cool.
There's still time,
There
and
is.
just wait till they get a little bit older. They might get into it.
It probably will. Yeah, he's only 6 right now, so it was more like my influence. But I'm sure like now at school when his friends start playing stuff, he's gonna be like, "Oh, Dad, I want to play that." So it's probably coming.
Probably coming, and I could so see you helping him build.
Oh yeah.
Like there's some, yeah, I could see that being something you'd enjoy doing, Giancarlo, like making little worlds and stuff like that. That'd be fun. Now, I did have a question about you. I logged in and I saw that you were doing an interview. And so for those in the audience who don't know, do you do your own like interview / podcast? And if so, like what's the name of it? Could you share something about that?
Yeah, so I host a show called There's Layers to This, and it's not just me. It's I have a co-host, B Dizzle 777. It's been 5 seasons. Today was our season 5 finale, 10 episodes in each season. So we crossed the 51 episode mark. It's been about a year and a half that we've been going, and it's a show about Web3 art and toads. And we say toads, but what we really mean is CCO, which is public domain art that anyone can use for anything they like. Our mascot is a cryptoad, and the cryptoads are a collection by Gremplin, and it's CCO. So anyone can go on OpenSea if you want, right click save and use the cryptoad for any brand or any purpose that you like. So that's what our show is about. We talk about Web3 news, we talk about art news, we talk about world news too. Today we talked about, I mentioned I was going to be on this show as well. So yeah, we just, we sometimes interview people, not every time, but sometimes we will have guests and we'll talk about whatever.
We lost your audio for a sec there. Oh, there we go. You're back. Okay.
There's layers too is
Yeah.
the handle on X. There's layers too, like TO. It didn't let us pick the whole name. It didn't let us put the whole name. There's layers to this, a little bit too long of a username on X. So there's layers too where you can find it. Thank you.
I just hit the follow button on it, and I posted up to the top in the space the season finale episode. So everybody can check that.
Thank you.
Congrats on 5 seasons.
Fun.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
we just shot that in person. So I know how you guys do this show, and you guys are in 2 separate places. We did our show like that for a long time, and now that I'm in San Diego, we've gotten a chance to do them like in the same room, and so yeah, it's super fun.
That is cool. And rare. Yeah, I mean, yeah, being able to do that together, that's awesome. I was just looking at the video that Jenny posted. I'm like, oh, that's so dope. You guys are in the same space.
Yeah, that would be nice to do. I feel like we did it one time, no? One time so far, Giancarlo? I think it was in New York.
Yes, in New York. Yeah, that we got together with who was it? Hurasaka and Carolina Cotto, and yeah.
I think having it like in the same space is like a totally different experience. I really enjoy that actually. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And maybe actually now that I'm thinking about it, maybe we could sneak in like an hour in Miami and the 3 of us maybe do something that'd be kind of fun.
I like that.
Oh my gosh, you read my mind. I was like, why don't we do this in Miami?
We should totally do that. And one of the things I was thinking about, Jenny, but I wasn't sure like how to make it work, is because when we have Mumbot later this month, she's also in New Jersey where I'm at. So I was like, oh, could I get her to like come, and the 2 of us be in the same place, for the for that episode or something. But so yeah, I still got to figure out like the logistics of like how to make it work. But I think that'd be dope.
That's so cool. And you mentioned that you're now in California. And so I remember reading maybe like a couple of months ago that you announced on Twitter that you had to relocate, which, is a major life moment. And I'm just curious to know first and foremost, like, how has that process been going? Like, how are you with the relocation? And second, has art helped you process all of those changes into like a new location?
Yeah, well, thank you for asking. Yeah, it's been a bit of a rough transition, to be honest. Going from like the most beautiful place I've ever lived to a very beautiful place still, but I am now in a city as opposed to like a very an island, literally. So the changes have been a little bit difficult to adjust to. Just being surrounded by so many more people. I was like really in a very zen environment before, like isolated in a good way. Front. I don't know. I feel like it's where I'm supposed to be right now. I did feel like being so far away kind of a little bit hard to get to things that pop. I know that it was the right decision. So I'm trying to remember what the other part of the question was, besides how it was done.
Like if art has helped you in the process of like acclimating into a new place.
Yeah, so in terms of art, yes, I've been doing a lot of writing, more so than anything. poetry, and the few things I've done in VR since I moved, I haven't done a lot. Honestly, it's been difficult to find time in the midst of figuring out where I'm gonna live. I just bought a new car two weeks ago. Not new, but like new to me. So just getting like the logistical stuff in order has been a lot of my focus the past month. And honestly, it started to feel like I was kind of letting go of the pedal on art. A little bit more manageable, and I'm feeling a little bit more grounded than I was these past couple months. So yeah, art's definitely helped, and more than just like writing or creating to process emotions, I think it's helped be like my anchor of like, hey, I know you got all this logistical stuff, but art is there and it's waiting like every day for you to make more or to send it out for other people to see it. And that's been really helpful because I'm like, I have a goal. My goal hasn't gone anywhere, and it's like, it's a great anchor to come back to.
That's great. I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah, and as someone that just recently has gone through a move, I can relate to a lot of what you said because it's like it could like totally rock your world. You know, it's like very unsettling, and you know, it's a lot of work, and you know, your routines and everything get like, you know, uprooted, and yeah, so it can be like really challenging. And I can imagine like moving from somewhere like you know, like a paradise like Hawaii. I mean, it's gonna be so hard, you know, to leave that. I remember I went there like on a vacation like back in, this was like 2008 or something, and we went to like Maui and the Big Island, and for like 9 days or something like that. But I mean I like absolutely loved it. We did like all this hiking, off-roading, went to like waterfalls, the beaches. I mean, I was like in love with this place. Like I literally wanted to like move there after I went. So I can imagine like being in that kind of a paradise and having to like leave. It's got to be so hard. So, but I'm glad to hear that you know, yeah, that the art and some of this stuff is definitely helping you through the process. So it's nice to hear that.
Thank you. Yeah, friends have really helped. Friends and family have
Mm.
also, like the I came back to bad. In Maui, I didn't have as many like old friends and like kind of those like long-term relationships that I was so used to seeing. So coming back like that has been really, really nice too.
Well, that's definitely good. I'm happy to hear that. It's good to have anchors of all kinds for sure. Yeah. Um, you had mentioned that if you collaborated, like you would go for musicians, and your taste in music was, you know, very
Mhm.
diverse, which I can totally relate to. I'm curious though, like, what type of music do you enjoy dancing to?
Ooh, okay. Mainly reggaeton.
Hey,
So
hey, let's go.
Eh, love it.
yeah, like Bad Bunny, or like even like Peso Luma, like that would be really cool for a collab. But yeah, I keep thinking that we need to have more events where we have like Latin music. It doesn't have
Mhm.
to just be reggaeton. It could be cumbia. It could be like all the things. Why don't we do that? I don't know, but I would love to perform at an event that was like Latin centric, inspired, any of those stuff. Yeah.
Again, we gotta put that
Man,
on the itinerary from Miami.
I'm my wheels are turning because I'm like, well,
Yeah.
surely there's got to be at least an hour that we could dedicate in the set of the music at the
Mhm.
exhibition for just Latino music. And I mean, what more appropriate place than Miami, right?
I mean,
So,
come on. Yeah.
I really agree. I think that should happen. I might even be willing to put my headset on and do a thing for that hour. Maybe not the whole hour, but like during that fiesta. Oh my gosh, I think that would be really cool. But I can only agree to do that if everyone who's there also agrees to dance.
oh, you know
That's my
it.
only
Count
stipulation.
me
You
in.
got us.
Let's
We're
go. Yeah.
in.
We're definitely in for sure. All right, so yeah, we got to try to make that happen. So yeah, we got a list now. Glass blowing. We got get some Latin beats up in there. Let's do it. All right. So one of the things we also ask all of our guests is, and this is because we don't love movies, is what would you consider to be your top 3 favorite movies of all time if you had to pick only 3?
Oh, that's so hard. That's so hard. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna not even. I'm not gonna think it over. I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm just gonna say, What Dreams May Come,
Mm,
in no particular order. Okay, but What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams. Y'all, if
yeah.
you haven't seen it, you gotta see it. It's like a artist's freaking dream. That one. And then Interstellar. I'm a total sci-fi nerd, and Interstellar is not just about sci-fi. It is about space, but it's
And
also
love.
about
And
love and connection between a parent and a child, and also like love, like romantic love too, transcending time and space. Like, oh
Mhm.
my god, Interstellar, go watch it. The
I actually
third one,
rewatched it. That's one of my favorite
what
movies
would be the
too.
third one? Oh my god, this
Yeah.
is hard. I don't know. I don't even know if I can't even think right now. I guess any of the Star Wars movies, probably Episode 3, because it's so intense.
Episode
Wait,
3.
episode 3 is when Anakin becomes Darth Vader,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it might seem a little crazy, but I think it's just because it's such an emotional thing, and you realize finally, like how could someone so good turn into
Mhm.
someone bad? And then you realize it wasn't because he was trying to be bad; he was trying to save like his lover and his unborn children, and that's what. And so like that to me, like I just remember the first time I watched it, I was like crying. I'm like, oh my god, like I get it. Like he wasn't a villain; he
Yeah.
started as anyway.
No, I'm so there with you. I often think that, like, in art and like literature, we focus a lot on the hero's journey,
Mhm.
but like the villain's journey is also super
Mhm.
valid and super important and relatable, you
Yeah.
know? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and also I think what I love there too with like storytelling like that is it's blurring the lines, right, and showing the gray, right? Because a lot of times, like, people get portrayed or painted as black or white, right? But there's a lot of like gray in between. And somebody that could be kind of portrayed as a villain, like they may not be entirely bad, right? Or like understanding that story of like how they got to where they are and why they're doing what they're doing it can be really interesting. So I love that you mentioned that one too, because yeah, I remember watching that, and you know where it's going too, right? Like you already know, like in episode 4, he's already Vader, but like to see like how it gets there, that evolution of the character and all that is, it's like, wow, man, it's crazy. It's really good storytelling. And yeah, I understand.
Anakin, you're breaking my
I
heart.
know. Why? But yeah,
Dang, that long.
and yeah. I love that you also mentioned What Dreams May Come. That was actually one of our guests that was earlier, like in the summer. Cece, Christine Clue, was also like one of her favorite movies as well. And Interstellar, yeah, I actually just recently watched it because I was on a flight, and like I love that. I love all the Christopher Nolan films, but that one in particular is like so good. And I rewatched it again. I'm like, oh, it's like I just remember again, like, oh, why I love it so much, and yeah, like all the stuff you mentioned there. It's such a good film. All right, let's see. Next question.
I'm glad you guys approve of my pick.
Yes,
Thank you. I
definitely.
feel validated. Just
Great
oh
ones.
no, I'm happy to hear you guys like those too. You've seen them.
All right. So other thing I want to ask you about is, so aside from, music, art, performing, what other things are you passionate about?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm passionate about having fun. I'm
Hmm.
passionate about
Oh no, I lost this.
just being mindful of your impact in the world, whether that's like environmental, whether that's
Mhm.
like minding your energy and how you use it around others, and how that affects other people. Definitely really into the environmental thing too. I About 12 years ago, I switched to being vegetarian to help reduce carbon emissions on my part. Not just that, but also like I care a lot about animals, very passionate about animals. Any animal I've ever run into immediately am in love. Dogs are just like the best thing ever. So I'm really into that, and that's also another reason why I went vegetarian so long ago, is because I think pigs are cute. I think cows are cute. I think they all deserve love. So those are just a few things. I'm passionate about cleaning up the Pacific garbage patch that's floating there. I don't know if y'all have heard of it. Those are just a few of the things that I've always been passionate about. I don't always talk about them because, you know, we lead with the art, but then if people ask, I'm gonna tell you. Definitely passionate about, also think something I care about is like immigration. I want to just remind everybody who might be from Latino heritage or any of that we were here first, and don't let people make you feel bad. Just don't. All right. I've always lived near the border. I was born in Mexico on the other side of the border. I live here in San Diego. So that is something that is very, very present in my life. I have family members who've never been to the United States because they've just never been granted the opportunity to even visit. So we won't go into that, but you asked what I was passionate about. Those are just a few of my things.
Man, I feel like I already knew like I liked you, and now I'm like, I know there's a reason. There's just so much like overlap, for sure. Like I recently went vegan, full vegan over the last maybe 4 months, and it really was because of that. Like my daughter didn't want to eat pigs, and so she kind of like put that seed in my head like years ago. And then I'm big into going on nature walks because I'm by the computer so darn much that I like have to break away and be mindful of my like mental health. And when I do that, there's cows here, which is like crazy. Still, I've been here for over 10 years, but like I grew up in New York. So like we never saw that kind of like amount of nature. And so I started going up close to the cows, and they would come to me and they would like moo, and I'd be like, "Oh, this is just way too like real." And sooner or later like the thoughts started to connect, and I was like, "No, I'm good." And if I don't actually have to, like, and I can still get the nutritional value, then I'm definitely gonna go with more plant-based as my option. So that's good to know, because then that means that you and I could definitely eat some of the same things when we're in the residency. I know Sarkis is also vegan, so we've got the like the plant-based crew set up there. That's cool. And then, man, yeah, what you said about immigration hits. I had a piece that got selected by the UN recently that was about that, and it was inspired by Carlos's sisters, because one of them immigrated here and then didn't do what she needed to do paperwork wise, and so now she can't go back to the Dominican Republic, which is super unfortunate. And so for 22 years, she had not seen one of the other sisters because the other sister couldn't get the paperwork to come here. And finally, like literally a month ago, they reunited. And so I just like, it blows my mind that humans have created systems where like the human component has been lost. But yeah, so all of those things just hit so much, and I love that about you. And of course you can't lead with that, because I feel like once you do, like it starts conversations. Even the food thing, it's like you never know how people are going to react to it. But it's dope. So I love that, and it just added another layer of appreciation for you as just a person and a creative. So love that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I honestly, I felt even about to say, before I even said it, I was like, should I even say this? So I'm glad I did, because I know it can be polarizing. Even saying like, oh, I'm vegetarian because of this, and immediately I feel like it can have, because I've had a million conversations even about being vegetarian. You going vegan, that's like you're really going for it. I'm so impressed and proud of you. But people sometimes hear that and they take offense, because they're like, oh, I'm not going to change what I'm doing, even though it kind of rings true. Like, man, maybe I do feel kind of guilty doing this, but they don't say I do feel kind of guilty. They just try to make you wrong. right? And again, just saying I'm vegan or just saying I'm vegetarian, I definitely feel like can trigger people that are not, because of this subconscious thing that maybe, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm glad we connect on that. And I just want to send an extra big warm hello to everyone out there who's also vegetarian or vegan. We love you for that. We love you all. Everyone else, we love you too, but you know, just a little extra.
A little extra. I love it. Jenny, you want to go to the next question?
Yeah, I'll go to my question. Okay,
Yeah.
so for those in the audience who have yet to collect your art, where can they find it? And are there any available artworks that you wanted to highlight tonight that we could pin to the top if you'd like?
I would say that one was from, like we mentioned, the 11/11 performance. And I think I've sold a little bit over half of the editions. I would love to sell out of those. They're very, very well priced. It's like 0.01 Ethereum. You could find that on my link tree. I believe you could find that on my link tree. Most of the available artworks that I have are on my link tree. Recently, I think there's if you click Creatress Sarai, I might show you the other things I have on Manifold. But yeah, I think this is one of my favorite things. This is one of my favorite artworks that I've made. And I'm like, you guys, there's no way there's this many left. This one's always going to be a really special one. And when this is fully sold out, this is also why I want it to sell out, because I'm going to do an airdrop for everyone who collected one. The thing about my performances that I guess I didn't really touch on was that every performance, I use layers, like in Photoshop, like in Procreate, there's layers, right? And so there's hidden layers always. So right now you can see the butterfly and that, but there's layers that I hid. So for the airdrop, I'm going to unhide some layers, and that's going to be the airdrop. It's another 3D sculpture created on that day, but that no one can see because I chose to hide those layers for this first mint. So that's the one I would say. Any other stuff, you can find it on my link tree. And I will be dropping an ordinal very soon on Gamma. It'll be my second ordinal, and that's going to be the 3D sculpture that I made during Bitcoin Nashville, which was my last performance. So that's coming out soon. haven't decided what day, but it's coming.
Cool. Super dope. I have a question immediately just popped into my head. With your file size, how do you do that on Gamma? I'm just curious.
Well, I'm gonna ask for help on that, because the first ordinal I did was, like John Carlos said, it was a JPEG. It wasn't a 3D sculpture. But I heard there's been one person that I've heard about, I believe it was Blessed, who inscribed 3D sculptures on Bitcoin. He was like the first person to do it. So I'm gonna find out from him, and I'm gonna find out from the Gamma team. One of the people that works at Gamma, his name is Brett. I can't say his last name, but his name is Brett. I'm sure you guys have seen him around. He's really helpful. So I'm gonna talk to him and ask. I don't know yet. I'll report back, Jenny. But I am worried about the file size. That's why I've been waiting for the tech to get a little better. So yeah.
Very cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I worked with him for the LATAM group drop that they did with Xverse in Espanol. So I'm familiar with him, and he seems like a great guy. So I hope that'll happen. And dude, when it does, I really feel like that's so different and novel that I could so see that being something that like really hits with that community.
Talk about also like kind of a historical thing. Like if it's one of the first like 3D, kind of pieces minted. I mean, that's like down the line, that'll be like collecting like the pizza Bitcoin, like it'd be huge, so yeah, some alpha there for the people. And I was interested when you were talking about like the layers. I wonder if that like the name of your show, like it was a play also on the fact that there's layers to this, to like your artwork as well.
Oh yeah. The name for the show is like multi-layered, right? So I'll just tell you real quick. The mascot. I go like this because I was wearing the jacket earlier, and the mascot was right here. But it's the Cryptoad. The trait, his skin trait, is tabby, which is like a tabby cat.
Mm.
And one famous tabby cat is Garfield. And Garfield loves lasagna. So, Lorenzo loves lasagna. That's what we call our Cryptoad.
Mm-hmm.
And there's layers. There's 3 layers to lasagna at least. There's
Mm-hmm.
3 layers to blockchain, right? There's the L2,
Mm-hmm.
L3, you know. There's layers to my artwork because I use layers in
Mm-hmm.
Photoshop and Procreate and Gravity Sketch. There's layers to people. You ever watch Shrek? Layers to an onion. I mean, there's there's layers to this. So yeah, the show name is just we have fun with it.
Love it. So I did want to now before I go to the next question, I want to first reset here, just thank everybody that's been in the space, joining us, listening in. I've seen Anna, who's one of our regular listeners in there. Chaz also here for a while. Dave, thank you guys for joining in. I also see we have 128 people right now watching the live stream, which is really cool. So let's go. Love that we're bringing these back again. So now that I finally have my setup at home, I can actually do these again, which is really cool. But I did want to ask if people wanted to join us on the stage in the space. Feel free to request. Would love to hear from you as well. So yeah, please request, and you can join us up here as well. And I guess the other thing I was going to ask you before we then go to any other speakers was, are there any upcoming performances, drops, projects, or things you want to tell us about today? Things that you have coming up in the horizon.
Yeah, so next up, I am going to, not a performance, but I'm going to Moundstown in LA next week. Actually, tomorrow I'll be doing a live stream from one of the events, so look out for that. After that, the next thing I have on the horizon, like I said, I've been kind of not super on my game booking performances because of the move. So I feel a little bit like, oh my God, it's pretty far out. But in November, I have the opportunity to perform in Italy.
Ooh.
I know, at a castle in Italy. Now, I need to get the funding in place to just make it out there. But I've got an invitation to exhibit my art. That's happening for sure. My art's being exhibited in a castle in Italy. Insane. But I also have the opportunity, if I can make it out there, to perform during the exhibition. So that's kind of the goal that I'm on right now, is to find a way there. And the second thing is focusing on Art Basel performances. So I've got about 3 different events that I've talked to that are interested. Nothing set in stone, but my goal for Basel is to perform every day that I'm there if possible, if not 4 out of the 5 days. I've done it before in New York for 2022 NFT NYC. I performed 6 different times, and then I did a keynote. So I know I can do it, and I know it's super fun and really just rewarding for me. So that's kind of that's what I'm focused on. It's Nounstown this week, and outside of that is preparing for Italy in November and Basel in December. Anything in between is just prep. It's just submitting. I don't know if I can. Oh, well, there's also San Francisco. ETH Global San Francisco is happening in a week or 2. There's a small chance I might go and do something there, but my energy right now is towards Italy and Miami, and making those 2 things just be awesome. So look out for that. If anyone has any ideas, anybody wants to have me host a show, a live stream, a performance, be on a panel, I'm open to all of it. So yeah, that's what we have going on here.
Sounds so cool. And where exactly in Italy is this castle that you're talking about? That sounds so dope.
That's a good question. I want to say it was Mezzo Lombardo. It's an Italian name. Let me get back to you on the name, because I know the name. I don't know it by heart.
No, that sounds so awesome. Amazing. And yeah, man, that sounds really cool that for Art Basel, you're going to try to have several performances there. So definitely would want to check out at least one of those while we're all there in Miami for sure. All right. So I see we had several people request. If I remember the order correctly, I think I saw Chaz first. How you doing, Chaz?
I'm good. I just want to come up and give this goddess a little flowers, like, because she knows that I love her. Like I did say, I have a couple of your pieces. The one piece that I bought, I was like the number one, the first one that collected that one edition. That's still in my landing spot in my spatial. I never moved it. It's like one of my favorite pieces in there.
You're the best, Chaz. I absolutely appreciate you and like all your support throughout the years. I know we go way back to 2021, and yeah, no, absolutely love and appreciate you. And yeah, you have a couple of my favorite pieces. So yeah, I'm happy that they're in good hands with you.
Yeah, they're definitely my favorite pieces of yours too. So I'm really happy. I think those are some of the ones that will just never leave my collection. They'll never get sold, regardless of how high the price the floor might go. I'm like, nope, sorry, that's lockdown. So
You're the sweetest. Well, I hope to see you very soon.
yeah, I'm not gonna be at Basilisk here, but cause I'm having my surgery on in November sometime. I'm waiting to hear what the schedule is. But come next year, I'm gonna be in like 16 times better shape and like healthier than I ever have been after November. So I'll be like traveling as much as I possibly can to get into events and stuff. I'm really excited to see it at different places. And I picked up a new camera system, so I'll be able to do a lot more better photos of you too when you're performing. That'd be fun.
Oh my gosh, you've got a really good eye on the camera too. So
Thanks.
definitely praying for you, and just I know everything's gonna turn out just how it's meant to, and you are gonna be healthy, way more healthy next time I see you.
It's funny because somebody said to me the other day, they're like, I was like, but I'm so excited about having his first surgery done. She's like, said no one ever. I'm like, no, really, I really actually am. Like, this is going to be an important part of my journey with my art and everything, So yeah, I'm excited to get back in the game again in person. So, but I just want to come say hi, and we should talk about some sort of collaboration because I'm doing a lot of video stuff now too, like a lot. So
I'm here for it. I'm here for it, Chaz. Yeah. There's someone I would collaborate with. I think we may have talked about it before. But I think it might be time. I think it's time. Yes.
Yeah, and I've gotten a lot more involved with my knowledge of like a lot more like creative like tools and stuff like that too. So that's yeah. I'm definitely gonna be tapping in with you. That was another reason I want to come out. I want to tell you that I'm gonna be tapping in with you sometime next year. I'm starting a drop-in center for at-risk kids to teach to bring AI art and different kinds of art into therapeutic environments. So one of the things I want to be able to do is tap in with people like, especially like you, that I could have you come in and like do like a class on VR art, like remotely even, you know what I mean? And just have it have it projected on the wall and they can learn that way. So that's something that I'm working on putting together and getting a grant to get that done finally. So that's my dream that I've always been talking about while I went to school. This is actually going to happen now. So you're on the top of my list of people to come in and and do like some sort of like guest spot class or something sometime next year.
I would be honored, and congratulations on getting that. Like I just let me know. I'm happy to do that. Cool. Absolutely.
Thank you. High praise. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for having me up. And I need to tap in with you too about other stuff. So
yeah,
I'll send you a DM.
Yeah, definitely hit me up, man. And that sounds so cool. And also just hope the surgery and everything goes well, man. And thank you so much for coming by and giving some flowers to Creatress.
Of course.
Appreciate you, man. All right, so I want to go next to our dear friend Anna. How you doing?
Hey guys, very happy to be here. Hey Giancarlo, Jennifer, Creatress, Chaz Gold in the house. That's what's up. Wishing you best of luck in your procedures, whatever you're going through. And of course, Creatress, it was really great to get to know more about you. I am a huge fan of the Artist Spotlight show that Giancarlo and Jennifer Jennifer do on a weekly basis, because yes, that's a pathway of learning so much deeper about someone. And of course, I'm mostly excited to hang with you and art during Art Week for the art residency, which I'm very honored to be part of, and getting to know more. And damn, talk about glass blowing thing, girl. That thing is. I mean, I don't know if I would put it on my bucket list, but if opportunity arises, hells to the yes. We were in Czech Republic several years ago, and we happened to go outside of Prague, and I don't remember the name of that town, but we happened to go into the factory where glass blowing was happening literally right in front of us. And OMG to the G, where I was so mesmerized by that process. Here's a fun fact about glass blowers. Well, not in America, at least those that live and work in in Czech, or let's just say Bohemia, right? That's the region what it's known for. Actually, if you ever think of Bohemian glass chandelier, think that's where it comes from. Actually, so one of the fun facts we actually learned about that these glass blowers, they actually are encouraged. You'd be shocked to drink beer on the job
No
and
way.
smoke cigarettes. Yes, way. Yes, it's a fact. We were like, what?
No.
Yes, they are literally smoking cigarettes and drinking beer on the job. That was the funniest thing ever. I mean, you would think, right? The coolest job in the world. You get to create something so extraordinary and so elegant and so precious, because yeah, one slight mistake and boom, everything is done, and we say no mistakes in art. Well, that mistake can be a costly thing. So, and I'm pretty sure these people, well, glass blowers, they go through vigorous years of training, but that would be definitely something I'd love to one day. I'm not putting it on my bucket list, but that's just how I am, because if I happen to be in the right place in the right time, then hell to the yes, checking that list off of my list. But you girl, really, your story is really incredible, because going from one place to another place, and I can certainly relate. I've lived in big cities most of my life, and now I'm actually in a suburbia, so I get to enjoy all the greenery and the quietness, bird tripping, hummingbirds flying to my bottle brush tree. Man, oh man, I love it. And of course, I love to dedicate time to gardening and plant flowers. And yeah, I'm a flower lover for sure, and a nature lover. So I resonate with what you're experiencing. Actually, the opposite of that, because you don't get to be surrounded by nature. And it's very, very unfortunately how big cities kind of overtake all the green spaces, and they leave little room for parks. And even if you go into that park, well, you bring your kids to the park, and like everything is like kind of like covered by the rubber or other stuff, but nothing. But there's no greenery in there, barely trees or whatnot. But whatever. But anyways, I'm rambling. I just definitely want to stop by, give flowers to you for sharing the story. I enjoyed it immensely, and of course, give flowers to Giancarlo and Jennifer for having a phenomenal interview with you guys. So that's all I got.
Thank you so much, Anna. I absolutely appreciate you, and I listened to your interview too, so I know that you are into the peonies, the tulips. I also love peonies, so I'm right there with you. I didn't really talk about that too much, but I did used to have a big garden. Not even in Maui, back when I was here in San Diego. And that's one thing I will say about San Diego, that it's one of the greener cities. So it's not like the worst. It's not like the worst, but yeah, it's so much nicer when you can have your own garden and you live in a neighborhood that's just like so green. Yeah, I've always been into that. But thank you so much for the flowers, for the peonies, Miss Anna.
Yeah, thank you.
I just want to quickly say I'm shocked you remembered all of that. Yes, peonies is one of my favorite flowers, but unfortunately in Florida they don't make it. It's more of a four season. You need 4 seasons in order for that thing to grow. But um, tulips is funny thing is whenever I go to Trader Joe's, I'd be sure to pick them up as soon as I see them. Right now, it's definitely not a season of tulips, but that's another one. But for sure, thank you for remembering that. Wow. Talk about making quick impressions on someone with flowers. There you go. Flowers always make me happy. So I'm glad I'm not the only one there.
Nah, I'm a flower girl too, and I can't wait to see you in Miami. And now I'm like, maybe we're gonna have to have some peonies on the table at the house. I don't know, or some tulips.
I'm just
Oh
gonna
my
have
gosh!
to, but when I go get food for the fridge, I'm gonna have to grab some peonies for you guys. Looks like.
Just gonna put it on the shopping list. Well, Anna, thank you so much for coming up, for regularly supporting our spaces, and you know, coming up to get flowers, your opinions, and always appreciate you. And definitely, you know, stay safe. I know, you know, the storm's coming your way there to where Jenny, you, everyone there in Florida. So I'm keeping you guys in my thoughts and prayers. You know, so yeah, just wanted to just wish, you know, hope you stay safe, and thank you so much for tuning in. All right, I think I saw David also on the stage. Hey, David, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Doing
Thanks for
well.
having me up.
How you
It
been?
was nice to listen to the story of Creatress. Unfortunately, I came in like an hour late, so I'll have to go back and listen to the recording.
Yeah, and you can actually watch the video of the live stream as well. So
Nice to
check
hear
it
you,
Yeah,
out.
I
Yeah.
was
David.
kind of watching that while I was listening to
Oh,
y'all.
okay. Cool.
Yeah, like X wouldn't let me play it like at the same time with the volume because it was different, a few seconds off between both the space and the live stream.
Yeah, what they need to do is start allowing you to do like a combined space live stream, you know, instead of us having to do like stuff through a different app. But yeah, appreciate it, man. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, you can definitely, you know, catch the beginning part of it from the recording later.
Yeah, I was happy to hear that one of her favorite movies was Episode 3 from Star Wars. I remember I had mentioned that in y'all's space before,
Oh, that's
and
so funny.
Giancarlo was like, "Oh, that's interesting. I've never see you liking that movie." I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like saying exactly what Creatress was saying. Like, there's so much emotion in it. It's like, yeah, I was crying in it too.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
gosh, yeah.
and the
Like you
effects are just amazing. Like as a creative person, like artist, like that kind of eye candy is like always so dazzling, you know, on the big screen and stuff. And it's made by like iconic director George Lucas. Like he was like the first like director that I was introduced to seeing like movies in the theater. Like I went to see A New Hope in the theater back in 1977. Like my dad took me and my sister there. And like from then on, we were just loved the Star Wars. Like it kind of just became like a cultural iconic thing back then.
Oh, wait, Chris, were you trying to say something?
But
I think you're on mute right now.
am I on mute?
No, Creatress was. I wasn't sure if she was trying to.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I guess I muted. I was getting real passionate. All I was saying was like, y'all, there's so many human themes and emotions that they touch on in this movie. And even with like Ben Kenobi trying to like save him from himself and being like a good mentor and like, oh my God, there's just so much. There's so much there. I feel like we'd have a whole episode talking about episode 3. So I'll stop
Yeah,
here.
the ending of when he's like, "You're my brother," like all this, and like you were supposed to be the chosen one. Hey, Courageous, have you ever watched the Clone Wars, like the animated series?
Oh, I have. I have watched Clone Wars and with my son mainly. I couldn't get into it as much, but I did watch quite a bit, and I've watched all of, like the side shows too. You know, The Mandalorian, and the new one with Andor. Yeah, I'm bought in. I'm fully bought in. I
Fully.
even play Beat Saber in VR. My first VR experience, also by just real quick because we're talking about this, it was a Star Wars experience. It was a Star Wars immersive experience at the Venetian in Vegas, and like it was this place called the Void. You would pay per person. They put a headset on you, a vest, and like give you a gun, like obviously like a virtual, and you were like a stormtrooper, like going through like one of the bases that that Darth Vader had. So that was my first VR experience. So it's just got to put it out there, David. I thought you might enjoy that.
I'd have to check that out. But they have a nice thing at Disney too. I think, is that where you were talking about, the one at Disney?
No, this
No.
was at like a place in Vegas, actually. I haven't seen the Star Wars stuff in Disney, but that is also on my bucket list. I need to go. My son went, so he got the experience. I need to go do it sometime soon. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Cool. Well, I'm really looking forward to meeting you in Miami because I think you're part of the residency, right? The One Love.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Maybe at some point there'll be a not Harry Potter. Oh, Harry Potter 2. A Star Wars movie playing somewhere.
Well, let's watch
I
episode
don't
3.
know.
Let's put it on.
So
I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'd rather do Art Basel than watch that again. I've probably seen it like 70 times.
but listen, when there's downtime in the house that David is staying at, well, Giancarlo too, because I kind of put all the gents in like one area. That house has a movie room.
Ooh.
So maybe we could just like pick a movie. It doesn't have to be the Star Wars one, but something that everybody would vibe with. We could do that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I'd love it.
Definitely not
awesome.
the Megalopolis.
So much FOMO for not being in Miami this year.
Oh, Chaz.
Yeah, well, we have plans of doing more, not just another one, because we've done, Miami several times now. This would be technically the third. The first one, though, that we like officially called it a residency, right? But sorry, I need water. But actually, Luco is actively planning with the Art Cartel, like something for Colombia.
Really?
And yeah, and the moment that I did the post on the Miami art residency, Mirejita reached out to me. She said she wanted to plan something in like Europe and Spain.
Mireita
So,
from
like,
Spain? Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah. So like I feel like one thing leads to another. That's kind of like the really cool thing about One Love. So I feel like Chaz, like you're gonna probably soon have so many different opportunities to go to like really dope places and do these things. So yeah, don't fret. And we'll also be, taking videos and pictures and sharing that all with everybody.
I just got my passport. Not yet, but I just applied for it just like last month too. So I finally have a passport. I've never had a passport before. I went and got one.
Really? Wow.
Figured it was 54 years old. I might as well go get a passport just in case the opportunity like comes out. I did it. Basically did it because mainly because I didn't know if I was like I applied for the Bali thing, and I was like, well, if it's just in case, I might as well go get my passport in case they choose me. So you never know. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, I'm excited that I'm going to have one in my hands here pretty soon. I'm just waiting for it to get in the mail.
The once you passport, you never go back. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Good.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, Chaz. Hopefully, if not this one, it'll be the next one for sure, man. So we'll keep thinking of you.
Next year it's on and cracking next year. I'm racking up so many like credit card points right now, and building up my credit to like have like so I can just go like travel comfortably. Like I've been saving for all of this for so long that like this is just like once I'm done with this surgery and I get healthy again, like I swear, man, it's like I'm never gonna be home. This whole next year, like I plan on going at least half a dozen trips next year, like to make up for this year for not going. You know what I mean? Like so that's I'm like literally living for that. I'm like, let's go already. You know what I mean? So and like I was gonna ask you, Creatress, are you doing anything with the new new stuff with Transient Labs yet. I don't know if you saw the new .fun thing they're doing and like the generative art and like contracts and stuff that they're creating. I had a meeting with them today, and I feel like some of your art would like you could come up with some really amazing like very like creative ways of using the new stuff that they're doing.
I haven't, but I've been watching Jenny post about it, so it's definitely been on my mind because I know you just did that, and so I haven't, but I'm definitely watching, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to learn more about this. And
hit up Daniel.
I haven't had time to study as much as usual, so stay
hit up
tuned because I do
Daniel
want to try that.
Hit up Daniel and Ben because they're doing like video like Google Meets right now, like for like small groups of artists that are interested. They're setting up, they're facilitating that to walk you through the whole like .fun thing, which is it's amazing. It's so much fun. I'm like, I have so many ideas.
So the .fun thing is a thing where you deposit like an idea, right? That's that.
Yeah, but there's that too. But there's some that are there's the generative art contracts or a feature they have now that's open to the public. That some of those came from the .fun thing. So that's how .fun became that. It's because like so many people started coming up with ideas for that kind of stuff. But they have like a whole like section for the generative art thing where like you can go in and like they have menus. You can choose from a menu and then just alter it to your art. And it's just like super dope. It's like there's a way that like for example they take like video clips and you could take like 24-hour like video clips of when they go for like every hour every day, and you could make it into one piece where it would change every hour on the hour for one of the 24 clips. That's just that's just a random idea I'm throwing on the top of my head. You know what I mean? Like little shit like that. Like it's just like there's so many endless like infinite possibilities of like shit that you can do with the generative art thing that they have right now open to the public, and then you can just automatically turn it and mint it and turn it into a piece. It's super cool.
Sounds
I
dope.
got lost in there all day today. I was like I'd come out for air. I saw this space and I was like, oh yeah, I got to do some other stuff now. While I'm in a space, like I've literally been in front of the computer, just like eyes like bleeding from like looking at it for too long. I'm like, Jesus, man, I need to stop. It's so much fun. I'm just like, oh my god, dude. Yeah, like I'm excited to see like what you, but people like you, just like you come up with to like do this stuff. But hit up Daniel or something, and like he'll bring you into a video meeting where he'll walk you through it like within an hour.
I'm definitely gonna look into that. Thank you. Our wheels are. I think all of our wheels are turning right now. I'm like, oh man, I got so much to do. I've got about 20 different little homework assignments now from just this conversation. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta go check on that. I gotta go do. Oh, this has been great. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, it's been awesome. So I do got to start to wind down the space. I know Jenny's gotta finish getting ready for the hurricane stuff. I gotta get up early as well. But I did want to just thank everybody that tuned into the space, people that also tuned into the live stream. Appreciate you guys joining in and listening to Creatress's story. David, also you should check out the live stream because I got your art, one of your artworks over here in the background as well, featured on the wall. But yeah, so I just want to really thank everybody that tuned in today, and happy to also have these the video live stream back as well, which is really fun. And yeah, Creatress, thank you so much, for being our guest today. It was so cool to get to know more about your artistic journey, your creative process, other passions that you have as well, and just so many cool things that we touched on today. I'm very excited also to just get to hang out also in person when we're all in the Miami residency in just a couple of months. So that'll be really exciting. And and people definitely continue to support Creatress. There's layers to this, her show. I'm going to be also checking that out and subscribing. She's got that 1111 energy still minting there on Manifold. So go check that out. Awesome piece. And maybe we'll get to see the layers that are hidden as well. And yeah, so just want to really thank you, Creatress, for being our guest today. And yeah, just hope you have a great rest of your week. And also, again, congrats on the show's 5th season as well. So kudos for that. Oh wait, you're on mute. Hold on. On mute on the space. Is it still on mute? Hold on. Still has you muted.
Says she's connecting.
Oh, okay.
She might have lost.
I think yeah. Let's see. Oh no. Okay, we got to promote her again. Hopefully we can get her back. Or you know what? I can maybe I'll unmute you on the computer. Let's see.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh, you're back. Okay. Yes.
Oh my gosh, how crazy! I don't know what happened, but I don't know where I left off. Where did I leave off?
Just start from the beginning. Sorry. Oh, technical
I was
difficulties.
just saying it's been an honor. It's been an absolute honor to be on the show. You guys are so fun, and I'm so excited to hang out with you guys more. And just grateful to be on the show, especially for Latin Heritage Month. I was saying y'all should be extra nice to all your Latino friends and family and just all of us out there because it's our month, so come on, show up. Also, we have provided tacos. Today's Tuesday, guys. Remember,
Yeah.
tip your taco people extra this month, always, but extra this month, and make sure you get in as many tacos, flautas, tamales as you can. This is the time. This is the time. But yeah, no, it's been an honor being with you guys. Thank you so much, and sending love and protection to Jenny and everybody out there who's anywhere near anything.
Thank you so much.
Love you.
Thank you. Love you. Thank you. It was so fun. I cannot wait to see you soon.
It's gonna be a blast in Miami. And I'm gonna put in some music, and then I'll close. We'll close it up. So.
Hey, let's go.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. And for everybody in Florida, take care. Stay safe. Let me unmute you guys over here. Oh wait, is your microphone on over here? All right. Can you guys hear me? Okay, there we go. Okay, there. Yeah. Thank you. It's so fun. And sorry for all the technical difficulties, but yeah, we made it through. We made it through.
Yeah, you know, we did what we worked right through it, so don't worry. But yeah, no, I won't keep you guys any longer. I know Jenny's thirsty too. I always have to have water, so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, thank you guys so much, and yeah, I'm here.
Sounds good. All right. Well, take care. Have a good night, and yeah, we'll keep in touch, and then yeah, we'll see each other in Miami for sure. So much love.
Yeah. All right. Stay safe. Talk soon.
Take care.